everyone to another episode of A Conversation with H.I.M about health information management. And this episode, as you know, is brought to you by The Qualified. We thank you so much for stopping by our channel. We thank you for all of the support, the subscriptions, the shares, all of the comments, and the love that you show not only to The Qualified, but you're also showing love to your colleagues, because the people that we have the pleasure of interviewing for these episodes, many of you know them, but you may not know them. You might be getting to know them, right? And that's okay, but they're involved in this H.I.M circle, and you're showing support, you're showing love, and we just want you to know that we thank you and that we appreciate all that you are doing. So today is another opportunity for you to get to know a man who is, I'm going to say, he running the show in H.I.M. Now, he might say something else, but I'm going to say he is running the show in his own way, in the realm that he's working. So he is running the show. Our guest today, y'all, is a graduate of Florida A&M University, affectionately known as FAMU. He graduated with a Bachelor of Science degree in Health Informatics and Information Management. And while he was enrolled at FAMU, he served as president of the Student H.I.M Association. He led student participation in recruitment and health fairs on campus and in the local community, making those connections and building those bridges across the campus and the community there in the Tallahassee area. Now, he's also a member of the Florida H.I.M Association. He is a member of the American H.I.M Association. He is a member of the FAMU H.I.M Advisory Committee, and he currently works for Hospital Corporation of America as a director of health information management and facility privacy officer. I think that today's conversation is going to be very enriching. I think it's going to be real good. I think this man is going to bring in a whole lot of wisdom and share a whole lot of gems with us. He's going to tell us about his experience, and I think we're all going to end this video enlightened on today. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's bring to the screen Mr. Marques E. Grant. Marques, what's going on with you?
Oh man, what's going on, man? That was an awesome introduction. I feel pumped. I feel like I can go up and down the court right now.
Let's go.
Drop 30.
I'm ready for it. I'm so ready. Listen, we're going to go ahead and jump into these questions. I'm glad you're here with us today. So again, thank you so much for carving out time in your day to even share with us and to let us know how things have been going for you in your career journey and on your path. So let's kind of start from the beginning, okay? We kind of like the start from the bottom and kind of get brought up to speed or what have you. So let us know what in the world made you choose to pursue a career in health information management.
All right, so I'm gonna go way back. Okay, so high school, I graduated honors. I was an athlete, student athlete. My parents instilled that in me at a young age. Really focused on my books and my studies and everything like that. And also being a part of a team aspect. I think it's good for any grown adult to be a part of a team. To learn sacrifice and helping others ultimately. So yeah, I graduated high school, Olympia High School in Orlando, Florida. And I went to UCF. That's where I started my collegiate career. And interesting enough, I started, with the major in computer engineering. That's what I wanted to do. I was always like into games, video games. Me and my brother and my cousin, we always just loved sitting on the games, playing 2K, all that good stuff. And just computers in general, just love that stuff. But that was the time I faced some real adversity. I think it's good for the whole audience to understand that, because a lot of people, see mistakes and things like that as, oh man, I made a mistake. I can't come back from that, or saying I can't do this, I can't do that. But that's important, So I wanted to start there because, like I said, I graduated honors and everything like that. So you would think I would have excelled, once I went to UCF, but once I got there, I had a lot of time on my hands, if I'm being honest with you. And if you're not managing that time right, you can easily start slipping and falling. And that's what I did. I was partying a lot. I always told myself I'll get the work done later. You know what I'm saying? And it just didn't work out like that. If I'm being honest, I was living on campus my first year. My degree at that, so it was computer engineering at first, and then I went to the first class. If I'm being honest, and I was like, okay, no, I can't do this. It looks way too technical, So I ended up switching to athletic training. I was basketball my whole life, and that was something I always want to do something in athletics and things of that nature. So I tried athletic training. I switched it to athletic training, and I just really wasn't managing my time well. So I got put on academic probation. Long story short, I didn't recover that following semester, so I ended up getting dismissed. Man, can you believe that? Honor student out of high school getting dismissed, before the first year was even done. So I was pretty down on myself, if I'm being honest. I was in a real dark place at that time, letting my parents down, telling them that I had to come home. So that was hard for me. So I ended up getting my first job working at a local attraction park in Orlando at Fun Spot Attractions. And that job really, I think, lit a spark in me because I saw like a lot of people were like comfortable, working there, and I see there was a lot of older people working there, and they were just comfortable with it. And I was looking to myself like, is this really what I want to do with the rest of my life? Like I was just working there. So I ended up getting back into school. I started to grow. They saw how hard I was working there, and I became a lead, a track lead. So I got some leadership experience in that role, which was good. And I was back in school, like I said. So um, I was able to bounce back. I got back into basketball. I played ball. I went up north with my cousin and played basketball there. Finished up my AA and wanted to see where I wanted to go from there. So my AA was just a general liberal arts degree. Really just trying to see where I wanted to go career wise. Um, so I ended up looking into FAMU. My mom went there. She did pharmacy there. I knew I wanted to come back home. I finished my AA. That school was in Springfield, Massachusetts. I have a lot of family up there, so it was good to go home for a year, finish up my AA and everything like that. And then I was just researching different programs. So I saw FAMU had, I think it was healthcare management. They had HIM, which was health informatics and information management. I was also looking at UCF again too. They had a HIM program there, but it wasn't nothing compared to HIM at FAMU. So I got to speak with some people there, got connected with some people on LinkedIn, which I highly recommend you young folks that are listening and tuned in. Get on LinkedIn, get connected with people, and network. That's important. But yeah, so I got into it. I ended up ultimately getting into the HIM program there. I chose HIM instead of the healthcare management because HIM seemed like more IT related. It had a lot of like EMR, things of that nature, configurations, coding, things like that. The healthcare management didn't really have all that in there. So it looked more diverse to me. It was a lot more appealing to me. So I chose that route. And I'm glad I did. I excelled once I got into that program. As you mentioned, I became president of my student association. There's some great professors there. They really saw how determined and dedicated I was to like be the best I can. And they would always reach out and give me different opportunities that were available, to help the student body and the community overall just be more aware of, their health, and what you can do to really, promote that, those conversations with your physicians, just be more involved, with your health. So I really liked it. So that's where I started. Fortunately, I was able to land a job before I even graduated with HCA through a manager and trainee program, where I was really rotating at different facilities of all sizes, going through, the billing department, revenue integrity, H.I.M, patient access on the registration side, to really see how those departments operate and how it overall impacts the whole revenue cycle chain. So that was an awesome experience, and I remember Parallon, HCA Parallon, they would come and speak to our program at FAMU because there's been a lot of graduates that have went through this MIT program. So I remember sitting in there as a junior, Dr. McNeil, she was the head of that program at that time. And she was like, Marcus, I really want you to come sit through this presentation. I really think you'll like this program. And I'm sitting through it. I'm like, wow, they will pay me to basically like train me, on everything to ultimately become a director. Like, that's crazy. I've never heard of anything like that. So I'm like, okay, I'm a junior at this time. I'm like, yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm doing that. So
Mm.
so yeah, and I was so fortunate that they did a career fair. They were on site for a career fair at FAMU in Al Lawson, and I gave her name was Lisa Terrell. We worked closely. Not to this day, she's in another department now, but I gave her my resume. She saw my GPA, how good it was, and just all my experience and leadership, and was like, "Yeah, we're definitely bringing you in for an interview." Um, and then the rest was really history after that. Yeah.
Wow. Man, Marcus,
Yeah.
that story was so packed.
Yeah. Sorry about that. I know that was a little
A
long,
lot
but
in that. Oh my
yeah.
God, there was so much in that. So, first of all, you walked us through almost like a dip, right? Like you graduate high school with honors at the top of your class, and then you get to this you go to college, and then you end up like getting distracted and all of the what. I'm just so surprised you got to college and start partying. I mean, that's really just
Right,
blowing
right.
my mind right now. That's something we all do, right? Oh my
Yes,
goodness.
ma'am.
You
That's
got
right.
getting exposed and start having a good time. And it's a whole lot of distractions out there
Oh
in the street.
yeah.
The streets.
Trying to
Okay.
tell you. I'm trying to tell you.
So a lot was going on there, but again, it was a packed story, and there's so much in it. Let's talk about just a little bit, since you took us there. Let's talk about like some of those challenges that got you to this point. Like, if you could focus on them a little bit more and kind of tell us how you overcame that. How did you overcome, getting kicked out of school, getting put on academic probation, having to go to, how did you overcome all that adversity? Because and it was
Yeah.
probably a lot of internal adversity too.
Yeah.
So
It
how did
was.
you overcome that?
It was a lot. And honestly, I was blessed to have some amazing parents, if I'm being honest with you. My mom and dad, they're nothing short of sensational. Um, they would always tell me these things, and I feel like it always went in one ear and out the other. You're a young kid, you 16, 17. I mean, you think you know it all, you think you know what you're doing, and you just try to do your own thing. And when I failed, any mistake I ever made, they always had my back. They were always there to uplift me, speak power into me. I'm a very spiritual person. I was raised in the church for as long as I know, so I'm a firm believer in God, and just really practicing what I preach and just trying to be the best I can be ultimately. Like I said, everyone's gonna make mistakes, but it's important to make sure that you're not making the same mistakes, and that's what I just tried to do. I just tried to listen more and speak less, and yeah, I just continue to try to be better each day. Try not to make the same mistakes. And also, who you hanging around too. I noticed that too. Like, everybody's not meant to go on this journey with you. People are really in your life for seasons. So if you still hanging around crowds of people that really not benefiting you, you should really like rethink that, because you know your mind could be your biggest enemy at times, and like, you always trying to please other people when really you need to focus on yourself. It may sound selfish, but honestly, that's that's important. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to do what you got to do. Nobody's gonna look after you the way you're gonna look after yourself. So look at your circles, see who's really helping you grow, mentally, physically, and then just try to like keep moving forward from there. You know what I'm saying? Some people may say, "Oh, you fake, you don't mess with me no more." It's not even like that. People change for the better. Like if people that say you change, I change for the better. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm trying to be better. So I had to look at that too. And once I did that, really just started, communicating with other people, and you got to be okay with being uncomfortable as well. Like a lot of people, like they so used to being comfortable and doing things that they comfortable doing. Like that's not gonna get you nowhere. I had to realize that, like, I wasn't reading as much as I should have been. I wasn't like just looking into stuff I didn't understand, just researching and things of that nature. And the more I did that, the more I understood, the more knowledge I had, the more comfortable I felt, in these rooms when I'm speaking with people that don't look like me, and things like that. So yeah, you just gotta really hone in and just be the best you can, and like you can do anything you want to do in life. It's just you only go as far as your mind will take you. So what you watching, who you hanging around, what you reading, all that stuff is important. Yeah.
Wow. You only go as far as your mind will take you.
Yeah.
That sounds like we could unpack all that right there. Talk about imagination. We could talk about the guy. We could talk about a whole lot. We could talk about the mindset of people, the mentality. We could talk about thoughts. We could talk about what. Oh no, it's so much in that. So much in that too. So you talked about, first of all, we need to know what season we're in and when it's time to cut some things off, right? You talked about that. Some people say you got to know when to hold and when to fold. You need to know when to hang on and when to let that thing go. Okay.
Yes,
and now we could be talking about people. We could be talking about jobs. We could be talking about a whole lot of things. We could be talking about habits that we have that may not be serving us anymore. So that's what you were alluding to in that. Like we have to recognize what's not serving us or what may not be beneficial to get us to our next season, right? Or to where we want to go, where we actually see ourselves going. And then I love how you talked about being uncomfortable. Ooh, shaking up some things. We got to get out of our comfort zones in order to grow. Growth doesn't happen in a realm of comfort. Growth doesn't happen there. Growth is uncomfortable, very uncomfortable. And I imagine as you were going through your career journey and going, transitioning from schools and trying to figure out life, that was a very uncomfortable season for you, but it was necessary in order for you to get to where you are now. So let's talk a little bit about where you are now. So you're serving as the H.I.M director for a facility in Central Florida, and you're serving as a privacy officer. And those are some big titles, okay? That's a whole lot of leadership going on. So tell us, like, what exactly does that entail for you? Like, what do you do for the organization?
Right. Okay. So our day-to-day really focuses on the revenue cycle services for the facility. So it really takes that burden off of the hospital. So we focus on that. So I have a team of 3 H.I.M specialists. So their main job, so they go around, collect all the discharge charts from all our patients, make sure they have 100% of those charts. So that's the medical record reconciliation process. They'll go ahead and prep, make sure that there isn't any patient records mixed with another patient's chart. So when they're scanning it, it's a accurate, complete record. Well, complete in a way. So then it gets brought up into our EMR system. So then once it's there, we have a team of analysis representatives. We have coders, transcriptionists. We all work together as a team. So analysis will go ahead and they'll review those charts, those accounts, make sure that everything's there. Is there an op note on this surgery account? Is there a history and physical? If not, are my teams communicating with these physician offices, ensuring that we get that on the chart timely? Because a complete medical record is what we need to for our patients to continue their care, and that's vital. So we're communicating with the physicians a lot, making sure that we're getting clarification that we need on these accounts and these charts, so that then we can finally code the charts, and that's where the coders come in. They'll code, get all the DRG information, any clarification that's needed. So say there's a different specialty physicians that have seen this patient, but one physician saying this and another physician saying that, then that'll constitute a query that's generated. So then the physician typically it's whichever physician discharged the patient will answer the query. Whether it's confirming that sepsis was present on admission, things of that nature. So then we can finally finalize that chart and then bill for it. And then the hospital will then get the reimbursement for those accounts. So that's a large part of what my team does, really capturing the charge, ensuring that they have the complete medical record, getting it scanned in appropriately. And then we have all the other back-end processes with the analysis, the coding, transcription. So transcription is when the physicians are dictating their notes. So we have a dial-in phone service they can call from our landline phones here at the facility, dictate H&Ps, op notes, things of that nature, or they can dictate directly into our EMR system, either way. But a lot of our time is really spent communicating with these physicians, ensuring that we have a complete medical record for our patients, because today, anything can happen. A patient can have a surgery yesterday, and be in a emergent situation, 2 days from now. And then if there's no documentation of, what that patient went through, it's going to be hard for that physician or care team providing care to really properly assess that patient. So it's vital. But that's the H.I.M piece. So the privacy piece, I alluded to, that's probably my favorite part of it, honestly, because it's a lot of investigation that goes on with that. So I investigate all patient privacy complaints, any HIPAA breaches, things of that nature. The number one HIPAA violation that we see is when nurses are discharging patients. So, for example, patient A is being discharged with patient B's discharge instructions. And that's big, because if you think about discharge instructions, it has, pretty much everything that you had done, while you were here, all your medications that you were discharged with, your diagnoses. And when that's being sent off with a totally different person, just think about how that looks, because I know I'm a very private person. I wouldn't want anyone having information on me that's not authorized to have it. So that I love the investigation piece, and really just providing education to those team members that need it, and just providing examples and seeing where I can help. I really feel like a detective when I'm doing these, because there's so many different scenarios. That was just the main one that I just explained, but you get hit with so many different things, and it's different because what I do now as the H.I.M director, the process is pretty much the same. I've been doing it for about 6 years now, but it's good experience. I enjoy it. I think I enjoy the networking part a lot as well. There's a lot of different leaders here, and you interact with a lot of different departments, to see their processes and how you can better improve those processes and really, get together with ad hoc meetings when need be and things like that. It's pretty cool. So, but that's pretty much a summary, like what a day-to-day looks like for an H.I.M director and a facility privacy officer.
Okay, awesome. So you mentioned being in the H.I.M director capacity for like the last 6 years. Altogether, how long have you been in the H.I.M industry working?
So 6 years. Yeah.
6 years.
So
okay.
That 1 year was when I was in the MIT program. So that was 1 year, and then I've been 5 years the H.I.M director.
Wow. So you only did a year. Some people serve in the MIT program a little longer than that, don't they?
They do. Some do. It really depends on the person, honestly. If they just need a little bit more experience, a little bit more work. It really depends. I've seen some people finish that program in like 6 months. I'm like,
Wow.
wow, 6 months. And I had to tell you, like when I was coming, because it's set for a year, like they give you 12 months. And when I was at the 11th month, I'm not gonna lie, I was nervous. I was like, wow, it's about to be that time. Like I'm gonna be the one, leading and directing my own HR department. And you know, I always wanted to be that leader where I want my team to be able to come to me with anything, any questions. Like I want them to know I'm going to be there. And I felt like I've shown that through the rotations I've been on and stuff like that. But it was just kind of like I just had that nervousness knowing that I'm going to be placed somewhere. Um, but it was good. Like I said, you got to be uncomfortable, and you got to be uncomfortable being in certain rooms. But I will tell you, like the more confident you are in yourself, the more knowledge you have, the easier it'll make it for you, because you know what you're saying, you know what you're doing, and you showing it the right way. So yeah.
I love that. That's perfect. So let's go back to your current like role, right? You talked about being an HIM director and being a privacy officer as well. Looking
Hmm.
at that like as from your overarching eye, because you're not in the grits, so to speak. Like you're managing a team that's doing
Hmm.
transcription, that's doing coding, that's doing ROI, release of information, and all of that fun stuff. But you're also overseeing all of these tasks and projects. So, from your perspective, what would you say is the biggest challenge that you're facing right now? It might not be technical, or it might be
Hmm.
technical. It may be relational, like I don't know, whatever it is. But what would you say is the biggest challenge that you're facing from your role right now? And then how are you going about tackling that?
So the biggest challenge. So those teams that I mentioned, like the billing, coding, transcripts, I don't manage those teams. We work closely with them. They
Okay.
all have their own separate directors. I manage a team of three HR specialists. Um, but as far as the challenge, I would say so there's times where communication could be better. I would say between all the teams. I feel like that could be a barrier at times. Communication is key, no matter where you're at, what role you're in, what job you're working. And sometimes, just throwing it out there will be a help in itself. But when you wait for things to unravel before it's actually communicating, um, things can be a lot worse than it could have been had it just been communicated in the beginning. So I would say that has been it was a challenge. I won't say it's pretty much more so a challenge now. Like for example, like with our ROI team, we had a lot of discrepancies and things of that nature with releasing records on time to attorneys and patients, and things of that nature. And it really wasn't communicated with the directors as quickly as it should have been. Like we were getting hit with it after the fact when we're getting calls from them and they're pretty irate that they didn't get it at this time. And had we known, we could have followed up and kind of made it a lot smoother on the front end. But yeah, I would say it got a lot better as leadership changed, as they brought more team members on board. They were going through some staffing issues and things at that time. But it's gotten a lot better though. So I would say that.
Okay. All right. Well,
Yeah.
awesome. So so you said communication. So how did you actually like develop that communication or improve on that communication challenge that you were having? Did you, reach out? Did you get some training? Did you read books on like what helped to clear that all of the funk and stuff that was going on with the way that you were maybe communicating with your team or other departments? How did you improve in your communication?
So I was reaching out to my leader, so my regional. I was just bringing her this scenario, like, hey, um, I think it'd be a lot better if we had like a distribution list, like an email distribution, so that way we can reach out there and everyone is getting it. It's not just like one email going to somebody and then, if that person's out, they're not really getting that communication. Because you can always copy people, but I think those distribution lists where everyone's on it is a lot more feasible for everyone. So brought that to our attention, and we started implementing that, and we immediately started seeing success at that point.
Wow.
And then as far as like communication for myself, I feel like I've always been a pretty good communicator. Like you can always get better. But I just watch certain podcasts that really give you different sides of things, things to look at, things to, better improve your processes when it comes to growth and things like that. So that's helped me try to better my communication, both verbally and written as well. So yeah, you should always just try to like find something that you can help find a way to improve on your skill set. It's just gonna be better for you in the future.
For sure.
Yeah.
So Marcus, thank you. What about, I want to talk about and kind of shift gears now and look at, we've
Mhm,
talked about the past, we talked about the present, what you got going
mhm,
on right now. Let's
mhm.
talk about what's coming up next for you. So where do you want this career path to take you in the future?
So next for me, I'm really looking into the cybersecurity space. I sit on we're in an information security committee. So it's myself, my CFO, my IT director, plan ops, and we have a director of information security assurance who comes from corporate on a quarterly basis. And we pretty much just like assess different vulnerabilities that we possibly may have, like who has USB write access, we review all of our phishing attempts. For those that are not aware, so a phishing attempt is like where a threat actor will try to send you emails to, tempt you to click on a link so they can gain access to our network. So we review those to see who are the repeated offenders, why are they failing so much, do they need external access? Um, what that is, so if you get an email from someone outside of the company, you'll see an external link, external verbiage in the subject header. Do they need access to get external emails is what we're reviewing. A lot of stuff like that. And he'll review like different ransomware attacks that's out there that's hit, the most recent, the one in Las Vegas. So that caught my eye a lot. So I started doing my research and things like that, and it's really growing the cybersecurity space. So I really want to get into that um, um, from a technical aspect. So I've actually just finished a course. CompTIA Security Plus is one of the main certifications if you're trying to get into cybersecurity. So I just finished that course. I'm looking to take that exam soon.
That's
But
awesome.
yeah. So that's where I'm looking to go right now.
That's good. This is crazy because just this week, what's today? I won't say what today is because we don't want to mess up the people.
Yeah.
But just the other day, someone like reached out to me. I met someone and they were talking to me about wanting to get into cybersecurity. So I took note of that CompTIA, right?
CompTIA
COMPTIA.
Security Plus. Yeah.
Security Plus.
CompTIA. Yeah.
Okay, I am going to share that with them because they literally were just asking me about getting into cybersecurity. And I'm like, I don't know, stuff on
So
LinkedIn, right?
yeah, so check this out. Even better than that. So there's this organization called ISC2, and they're trying to provide awareness to the cybersecurity field because a lot of people don't even know what cybersecurity is. So they're actually doing a initiative where the first million to sign up, they can take a free certified in cybersecurity course. It's self-paced. The exam is free. Typically, it's $200. And I'm actually going through it right now. It's like 5 chapters, but the course is very interactive. It has knowledge checks. They have videos, scenarios, really explaining stuff that's important. It's really good. So I'll send you the link to that, or we can put it in the chat whenever you post this. But
For
yeah, the first
sure.
million to sign up, it's free. So
I love that. We
definitely,
have to include that in the description. So yes, send me that information. But you said, just so that we can repeat it, you said it's ISB as in boy?
ISC is in cat.
Oh,
Two.
ISC as in cat. And then the number two?
Yeah, the number 2.
Oh, okay. All right. We for sure are going to drop that information in the description for all of our viewers today, because if you're trying to go into the cybersecurity space, Marques has definitely just dropped some gems for us. Okay. Well,
Yes,
I'm gonna say for y'all, because not for us, but for y'all.
Yeah. Right.
ISC2. ISC2. Okay, perfect. Yeah. So Marques, I want to just go back just for like a split second. And I want you to like imagine that person, that Marques, who was just about to graduate from FAMU with his bachelor's degree, right before getting into the MIT program, and that is the manager and training program at HCA, right before all of that. So let's go back, about 6, 7, let's go back about 7 to 10 years.
17, yeah.
What would you say to that Marques today?
Today, I would say, man, just keep going, brother. You know what I'm saying? No matter how hard things may seem right now, no matter how nervous you're feeling, just, remain confident in yourself. You can do all things through Christ. You know what I'm saying? Just keep going. You know what I'm saying? And just really work on yourself, really work on your skills. You're doing well right now. You're in school. You're doing what you got to do. You're not getting as easily distracted as you were. Just keep going, man. It's so much brighter. So much brightness I see in your future, man. So I would just say just keep going. Anybody out there, I can't emphasize enough that you're gonna make mistakes, and like it happens, but mistakes are more valuable than you just doing the same thing over and over again. Trying to play it safe. Because you got to learn from those mistakes. That's the only way you're gonna learn. It's the only way you're gonna grow. They don't remember how many shots Jordan missed, but they remember all those championships he won. You know what I'm saying? Like, just keep going, man. Who cares about what happened in the past or whatever else it was? Just focus on your future. Try to make some visual walls of your future, like what you see, motivation, and I listen to a lot of like motivational YouTube videos. Steve Harvey is a big one for me. He has a lot of good stuff. It's just a lot of good stuff out there. Try to, like I said, like what you listening to is big. You want to be putting positive stuff in your ear.
Perfect. I absolutely love it. Just keep going. Yeah. Just keep going. I think sometimes, like, especially, it just depends. We could be older or younger. It doesn't matter. This challenge happens like present day. Mm-hmm. So I think sometimes we get caught up in like just the details and the swamp of it all, like the weeds of it all. And we think that there's no coming out, or like, oh man, this is just we get overwhelmed by what's presently before us. But if we could just crack through that and get a gleam, like a glimmer of hope, if we could just see right past that, like it will help us. It will help fuel us and give us the motivation that we need to press through those challenges and to overcome that adversity and to overcome that. I always think that sometimes when people get really down, really maybe even depressed, or they just, enter into this dark space where they're hopeless, I feel like that hopelessness comes because they're not able to see beyond where they are. Like, you think this is it for me, but it's so important. And I think we're talking to somebody right now. It is so important that we are able to see even just a little bit beyond where we are, because I guarantee you this is not the end. It's only the end if you make it the end. But other than that, it's not the end, baby. And we hear that in Marcus's story, you know, that there is so much more out there for us. There's so much more. If we just keep on going, things will begin to work and turn around and work in our good and all of that. So
right.
Marcus, thank you so much for sharing. I think that your words today have been super, super inspirational. They've inspired me. And I believe that they have also inspired others who have listened on this, but we're not done. Okay. We're not done.
Yeah.
We're almost done, but we're not done quite. Okay.
So one thing I will.
Oh, sure.
One thing I will add to what you were saying, you know, about people, you know, in dark spaces and stuff like that. It's important to have a sense of gratitude. I will say, you know, we're all grateful for something. I don't care what you're going through, whether it's the clothes you got on your back, you know, you got food at your house, you have a car. Like you have to, I think waking up and just being grateful for the little things will really help you, no matter what you're going through, because a lot of people overlook that stuff. You got to show some gratitude. Like it's important, it's very vital. And I think anyone that's going through that right now, if you do that, just wake up, you know, just show some gratitude. That'll go a long way. You'll see how that just changes your day. Like you're not just going through the day like, man, I gotta go do this, I gotta do that, I gotta work with this. You know, it changes a lot. You know, it telling you it works.
I 100% agree with you, Marcus. 100% agree. And that you're right. We sometimes it might start small, right?
Yeah.
Especially if a person has kind of been waddling around in a funky kind of zone or season for a while. It may take a whole lot of effort to find like one little thing to be grateful for. But Marcus, you're right. That gratitude, that thankfulness will fuel us. Like you're absolutely right. And it will help shift the mindset. You talked about mentality and mindset earlier. Gratitude helps shift the mindset. So be encouraged, people, to find something small, at least something small, to be thankful for. And that will give you the gas. It's just like putting gas in a car. Like you can run that car down to E, but after a while, it's going to stop. Okay? You're going to need some gas. I don't know how many people ride on E. It might be some people listening right now.
Sure it's a lot.
That's riding on E.
We've all done it.
My light came on this morning, y'all, because I ain't feel like going by the gas station yesterday afternoon when I left work. And sometimes we overlook those signals that are going off even on the inside of us, right? I ain't feel like going to the gas station yesterday, so I was like, man, I'll just do it in the morning. What happens when I do that? I wake up late, I'm pressed for time in the morning, and then I really don't feel like going to the gas station. But
that's right.
If I don't want to walk to work, I might need to put some gas in my car. If I don't want to be crawling around like waddling in a mess, I might need to find something to be thankful for, right? So that's going to help me get that fuel. And as Marcus has said, that's helped him, and we believe that will help you as well. So Marcus, we're going to shift to like something that we do at the very end of these conversations, and it's called the lightning round. All right.
Okay.
All right.
Cool.
So I'm going to go ahead, Marcus.
No, I was saying that sounds fun.
It is. It's about to be real good. So I'm going to read off a couple questions, and you're just going to fire off the answers. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So first question is, I'm gonna change this. First question is, since you brought this up just a little bit ago, MJ or LeBron?
Oh, come on, man. Bron all day. Goat James.
My goodness. Okay. All right. Next question. Who or what has taught you the most about leadership?
I would say my dad. Since a little boy, he always said, you know, be a leader, not a follower. When he saw me starting to, you know, hang with certain people, he would always just, you know, be that gnat, you know. And there's times I didn't want to listen to him, but now, you know, I'm a grown man, and I really see what he meant by that, and I appreciate him so much for all that, everything he's taught me. Always to just, you know, lead by example. Some days it's going to be lonely, you know, because some people aren't with it, but just keep going. It's going to be brighter days ahead, and it's nothing but blessings that's going to come from that.
Beautiful. What is the best book you've read recently that you think other people need to know about?
Recently, I would say The Power of Positive Thinking by Norman Powell. That was a game changer for me. I heard it on the Steve Harvey podcast. He mentioned that, and I read it, and ultimately, I was like, wow, like that, and that's why I bring up the gratitude, because he talked a lot. They talked a lot about that, your mind and these negative thoughts that you put in your head. You'll be surprised at, how it has you thinking. Just by these simple negative thoughts that you have, you got to think positive and just know that there's a way out. There's better days ahead, and it's not always going to be easy. Like if it was easy, everybody would be out here doing this. Like everyone would be a director, everyone would be a CEO, everyone would be an entrepreneur. Like it's not going to be easy. You have to put the work in. So that's the most recent book I've read.
Okay, cool. What is your biggest leadership pet peeve?
My biggest leadership pet peeve, um, when a leader will, tell their team to do something just to do it and not explain the why. That's my biggest pet peeve. Like I'm big on, I'm not just gonna tell you to do something. I want you to know, why we're doing it, what's the benefit, and what's the impact. So that's my biggest pet peeve.
Okay. All right. And if you could spend the day with any leader today, who would it be? And what would you want to learn from that person?
Any leader, I would say it had to be LeBron James, if I'm being honest with you. Not just who he is on the court, although that's what really attracted me to him. But as I've grown and see how he is, as a family man, as an entrepreneur, how he really just goes out and helps others. That's what I see myself doing. So I would love to sit down with him and see, how he maintains such a positive mind because he's been through so much. If you look at his story and what he's been through, how did you like overcome all that? Because I couldn't imagine myself in his shoes, man. Like, and then you get hit with all that money at such a young age. Literally, nobody can say anything negative about him but him leaving Miami. Like, that's all they can say. It's crazy. And you hear all these other big name athletes that have gone through something in their life and that's been public, but never him. So I would definitely want to meet with him and have a conversation.
Okay. If there's something in your life that you're very proud of recently, like a recent accomplishment that you're very proud of that most people wouldn't even know about.
I would say completing that CompTIA Security Plus course. I didn't really tell anybody but like my parents and stuff like that. Um, that was big for me, especially because in the beginning when I told you my first major was computer engineering. And then I saw how technical it was and like the coding and all that other stuff. I kind of got scared and had a little fear with that. But to see that I was able to complete that course and really give it my all and really do well. That was a big achievement for me, and I think I needed that. So that was a blessing.
That's awesome. And last question.
Mhm.
What would you like your current staff to say about you when you leave? I ain't saying you finna go anywhere anytime. I'm not saying all that, but I'm just saying, what would you like them to say about you? What would you like them to remember you for?
I would like to remember me for caring, really wanting the best for them, whether it's not even just, success in this department, but outside of this department. I'm very transparent with them. Whenever I meet with them, I always want to see them, do better than just this H.I.M department. Like, where do you want to go? Like, where do you see yourself? So I want them to remember me as, someone who cared about my well-being and not just my metrics.
Oh, I love that. Oh my God, this has been so good. Marques, I am like honored to have this time that we have had to share with you and for you to open up even just a little crack of your life and let us peek into the window and see what's going on. Thank you
Yeah.
so much. We are honored and we appreciate you. So those are all the questions we have, but is there any final words that you would want to add?
Man, I just want to appreciate you for having me on this platform, if I'm being honest. Like what you're doing with the whole H.I.M initiative and just like bringing awareness to H.I.M and showing everyone out here, what it's all about. I think this is really great for them. I wish I was able to see something like this when I was in school. It would really inspire me. So I'm real thankful for this platform for you. And I really hope others that are watching this really take a lot from this, and just always remember everything is not going to be easy. Like you just gotta work on yourself, and do the best you can. Like never say you can't do nothing. Like you can do anything you want to do. I'm telling you, you just gotta put the work in. Gotta put the work in.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Marques, for those kind words. Really appreciate it.
Always.
And for everybody else who is watching and who has participated in our conversations with him about H.I.M, we thank you. You all are actually the ones out here making the difference, okay? Like
Right,
y'all the
right.
ones out here leading the pack, leading the team. Y'all running things. And so we just thank you all so much for allowing us, again, into your space and into your day and into your world. So I want to just appreciate all of our subscribers and viewers for watching today's episode, for sharing today's episode, for liking today's episode, and for dropping comments down about how good this has been and how rich and enriching this has been for you. Listen, we also are going to put all of the information for how you can stay up to date with the qualified, with conversations with him about H.I.M, with Marques Grant, if you want to contact him. Marques, before we even close this, let us know how we can stay in contact with you.
LinkedIn, that's the best way. I'm on LinkedIn, Marques Grant. My name should be in the bio. I'll also shoot Japera the link so you can just directly get to my LinkedIn. But that's the best way. Really networking, keep networking, folks. Like that's the only way you're gonna get better. If you see a position you like that intrigues you, find someone that's in that role. Connect with them on LinkedIn. Just do that. It'll go a long way.
Perfect. Absolutely. So yes, we will drop Marques's LinkedIn link into the description box and more information about the qualified. So until next time, everyone, thank you so much for joining us today. Stay tuned for another episode. Make sure you subscribe so that you will know when a new episode is dropping. We don't want you to miss out on all of this wonderful, wonderful content, wisdom, and experience that's being shared with us through this space. So keep shining bright, everybody. Remember all the wonderful words of wisdom that Marques just dropped today about the mindset, about having hope, about leading, about sticking to God. Marques, you done said so much. I can't even ramble off everything, but I know you got something. I know those who are watching got something. So folks, keep shining bright, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.